I remember the day the news on this case broke, and it still brings me to tears to this day. There are some crimes so disturbing that they shake a nation to its core. This is one of them. In 1993, a 2-year-old boy was led away from a shopping centre in Liverpool. Hand in hand with his killers, he walked to his death. His name was James Bulger. And his killers? They were just 10 years old. John Venables and Robert Thompson committed a crime so horrific, so unimaginable, that it sent shockwaves across the world. This is the case of James Bulger. On February 12, 1993, James was at the Strand shopping centre with his mother. She looked away for a moment, just long enough for 2 boys to lure him away. Venables and Thompson had been skipping school, wandering the mall, looking for a child to take. Earlier that day, they had tried to snatch another toddler, but the mother caught them just in time. But James wasn't so lucky. Security cameras captured the final moments of his innocence. A tiny boy, trusting and unaware, holding their hands as they led him away. For 2.5 miles, they dragged James toward an abandoned railway line. More than 30 people saw them. Some noticed James crying, his head bleeding. But nobody stopped them. When they reached the tracks, the torture began. They threw paint in his eyes. They beat him with bricks. They kicked him. They dropped an iron bar on his head. They shattered his tiny body with 42 separate injuries. And then they left him on the tracks, hoping a train would hit him and disguise their crime. 2 days later, his body was found. The nation was horrified. The search for his killers began. When police arrested John Venables and Robert Thompson, they were in disbelief. They were children. During questioning, Venables broke down. Crying uncontrollably, he confessed, "We did it. We killed the baby. I'm so sorry." Thompson, on the other hand, was calm, emotionless. He denied everything. At trial, the world struggled to comprehend how 2 10-year-old boys could commit such a brutal act. In November 1993, both were found guilty of murder, making them the youngest convicted killers in modern British history. They were sentenced to be held in secure child facilities, not prisons, until they were deemed rehabilitated. The public was outraged. Many believed their punishment was too lenient. James's parents were serving a life sentence of grief. Why should his killers ever walk free? But in 2001, after just 8 years, Venables and Thompson were released with new identities. Their locations remain protected by one of the most strict and costly anonymity orders in UK history. While Thompson has never reoffended, John Venables has been sent back to prison multiple times for possessing child abuse images and other crimes. James's family continues to fight for justice. They believe his killers should never have been released, because James never got a second chance. His life was stolen, his future erased. And for what? 2 boys playing a game of violence, cruelty, and death. James Bulger would be 35 years old today, but he never got to grow up, never got to live the life he deserved, and the world will never forget. Rip baby James.